here in Canada, we got a new government, and it's the Liberal Party. What now, Conservatives? What now? Okay. This is going to have huge ramifications, not just for Canada, but as you'll see at the end of the story, for the entire world. How is Canada going to light the world on fire? I'm going to tell you. First, the new Prime Minister is going to be Justin Trudeau, and here's his victory speech.
Canadians from all across this great country sent a clear message tonight. It's time for a change in this country, my friends, a real change. Canadians have spoken. You want a government with a vision and an agenda for this country that is positive and ambitious and hopeful. Well, my friends, I promise you tonight that I will lead that government. I will make that vision a reality. I will be that Prime Minister.
Okay, we got a new Prime Minister up north. Okay, now I read a mainstream media article here in the United States about this. They mentioned that he was good looking. I'm not kidding. I counted 5 different times in the article. Trying to make it seem like, well, he won because he's good looking. Yeah, that's why he won. Not because of an enormous liberal surge in Canada, and by the way, across the world, Jeremy Corbyn, Bernie Sanders, the Greek government, and the list goes on and on. No, they got lucky. He's a good-looking guy, that's all. Really? No, I don't think so. I think that the Liberal Party gave a very clear explanation of what they're going to do in power, and the people of Canada loved it. So let me tell you what it is that they promised to do. Trudeau pledged to run a $10 billion annual budget deficit for 3 years to invest in infrastructure and help stimulate Canada's anemic economic growth. When Conservatives here in America see that, their heads explode. They're like, you're promising to run a deficit? Brain matter, right? So here in America, you have to say, no, I hate there's deficits. I promise I won't do any deficits, right? And here the guy said, no. I don't want you to mistake what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a deficit because we have to stimulate the economy. And overall, that's going to help the economy. It's going to help the country. And then we'll bring the deficit down. And guess what? It turns out the voters like that. Okay, more from Trudeau. He has said that he will repair Canada's cool relations with the Obama administration. I don't really believe that because, to be honest, because Obama's a lot more conservative than they think. Their liberal positions are going to be way to the left of Obama. Anyway, speaking of which, they say also withdraw Canada from the combat mission against Islamic State militants in favor of humanitarian aid and training and tackle climate change. Conservative reaction down here in the U.S. to that. Okay. So climate change, what are you guys doing? No, you give us that great fossil fuels. You got a Keystone. Give us more of that. No, not climate change. You're going to not continue to bomb ISIS when it's so in the middle of not working? No, don't do that. So, and they're like, hey, you know what? This is what the people of Canada voted for. Clearly, overwhelmingly, okay, not that close an election. So they continue. The Liberals win marks a swing towards a more multilateral approach in global politics by the Canadian government, which has distanced itself from the United Nations in recent years. So they're going to work with the United Nations and the international community more. Now, this used to be a non-controversial position, both in Canada and the U.S. Working with the rest of the world was an obvious thing to do. Working with our allies, obvious. All these things were obvious. Now we have right-wingers in both countries going, no, me work alone. Me work better that way, right? So here this guy said, no, we're going to work with the rest of the world. And the voters of Canada are like, yeah, wait a minute. That makes sense. Let's vote for that. I got more. The former teacher, okay, I love every part of this sentence. The former teacher took charge of the party just 2 years ago and guided it out of the political wilderness with a pledge of economic stimulus and stirring appeals for a return to social liberalism. Conservative reaction in the U.S. What's going on with my brain matter? Okay. Social liberalism, teacher 2 years ago? I know it seems unbelievable for other countries, but here in the U.S., our right-wing party, the Republican Party, hates teachers. Who hates these? They also hate puppies. I don't know. I'm kidding about the puppies, I think. But teachers are like, teachers unions destroying this country. It's all the teachers' fault. if a guy who was a teacher 2 years ago became president. Okay. Trudeau has also promised to raise taxes on high-income Canadians and reduce them for the middle class. So yeah, you got that right. I'm raising taxes on the rich. Love it. But I haven't told you yet how they're going to change the world. So here that comes. It's one other policy position that he was very insistent on. Now, this is the Canadian Liberal Party that Trudeau heads. Quote, "We will legalize, regulate, and restrict access to marijuana. Canada's current system of marijuana prohibition does not work. It does not prevent young people from using marijuana, and too many Canadians end up with criminal records for possessing small amounts of the drug." Okay. Now, all right, well, it looks like Canada might legalize. That's amazing. That's wonderful. That's a good Liberal position. It's the correct factual position. When you decriminalize, you actually wind up with lower drug use and the gang warfare that's associated with illegal drugs. But here, they're not going to decriminalize. Now, they haven't done it yet. But what their promise was, and they got elected on this, is to legalize. Now, why is that so important, and how does it affect the rest of the world? Well, when they go to legalize, they're in violation of 3 to 4 treaties that all the developed nations signed. Now, a couple of our states here in the U.S. have legalized, but the federal government has not. So we're not in violation of it. In fact, we're the guys who are usually pushing it. We're the guys who would usually go to step up to enforce this. So far, no one's really broken away from the herd too much. The only country that's legalized is Uruguay. And, of course, the U.S. is like, oh, Uruguay, that's bad, we'll punish you. But, okay, we're moving on, right? Because they're too small. Now, other countries like Netherlands and Spain have basically relaxed their enforcement of drug laws, but the drug laws technically still exist. If Canada says, take your treaties on this drug war and you put them wherever you like, okay, well, that has reverberations. Because then if the U.S. or none of the other people who have signed that treaty, countries that have signed that treaty, react to that, well, then anybody can leave those treaties and they can all begin to legalize. Okay, one more explanation from Vox here. But this wouldn't be just an important milestone for Canada and the world, they explain. It could also send ripples across the international system of drug policy. That's because drug policy is tied not to just each country's individual laws, but to a network of treaties that effectively make the war on drugs a global effort. Marijuana legalization in Canada would act as the most high-profile rejection of these treaties. Whole new day. Whole new day. So Liberal government in Canada might wind up affecting this insane war on drugs throughout the world. Especially because in 2016, we've got a massive get-together at the United Nations to discuss drug issues and drug policies. If Canada says, we're out, we're not doing this stupid war on drugs anymore, and you've got other countries who are itching to join that effort, and they already have been going in that direction, and the U.S. will seem hypocritical. Hey, listen, you've already got 4 states, the District of Columbia, your capital, that has also legalized it for recreational use. Who are you to complain about Canada? This whole thing can unravel, and maybe, just maybe, we might start to end this insanity of the war on drugs. So when you have a worldwide liberal movement in Greece, in the UK, in the US, and Canada, it winds up being worldwide and having worldwide consequences. And for those of us who are sick of all the conservative right-wing ideology that has dominated for decades about how, don't worry, give everything to the rich, give tax cuts to the rich, and it'll trickle down on you. And we're going to do a war on everything. It's a war on the Middle East, a war on drugs. And the bombing has only led to more violence, and the war on drugs has only led to more violence, and we're sick of it. So this is as welcome news as you could possibly have. So Prime Minister Trudeau, great to have you, and the world awaits you to follow through on the policies that you promised the Canadian people. Looking forward to it. Can't wait.